Tokyo buildings and traffic on a sunny fall day. Dr. Chieko Asakawa is walking with a suitcase that is speaking.
0.80, 0.85, 0.90.
I lost my sight at the age of 14 by hitting my eye on the side of a swimming pool. And I was confronted with two difficulties. I had extremely limited access to information and I was unable to go anywhere by myself. Since then, I've been working on accessibility technology to substitute my vision and to improve my own quality of life.
Main title, Coding Accessibility, Dr. Chieko Asakawa.
I'm Chieko Asakawa. I'm an IBM Fellow and concurrently serving as Chief Executive Director of National Museum of Emerging Science and Innovation. We call it Miraikan.
Sign says IBM Research, Tokyo.
When I began with IBM in 1985, I was excited by the possibilities, and I worked very hard to develop Braille digitalization technologies. This served to help me create the world's first practical voice browser, IBM homepage reader. That helped open the wondrous world of the web to the blind.
TED Talk, October 2015.
The cyber world became accessible. And this technology that we created for the blind has many uses, way beyond what I imagined. History shows us accessibility ignites innovation.
A woman with a cane follows a path meant for someone who is blind to Miraikan.
Accessibility could be a flagship use case for cutting-edge technologies, and I strongly believe it will lead us to the next generation breakthrough invention. Young people being interested in accessibility will help accelerate accessibility technology and research. So I want to spend my time to nurture these young students and young researchers. Siyu is a postdoc researcher at Miraikan. Her research interest is museum accessibility, focusing on tangible interface.
Dr. Shiyu Wang.
Before coming to Miraikan, I was working with children with PTSD. I met Dr. Asakawa when she was a keynote speaker at a computer-human interaction conference, and she said she needs people from all different backgrounds to work in accessibility.
Shiyu has an iPad with some 3D printed parts and is using those to give an orientation to a woman at the museum.
Miraikan is a science museum and also a hub that connects the industries and academia with users who are just regular museum visitors. One of my recent projects is developing a 3D model of the museum. 3D models gives people who has vision impairments a more direct way to interact with the map.
5階展示の入り口、これから5階にある13個の展示を時計回りに順番に回っていきます。
People with vision impairments, now by touching, they have the autonomy and they have the independence to decide where they go. For accessibility researchers, it's very important to include the end users from the beginning.
Exteriors of Tokyo. The sun is beginning to set over the city. Shiyu and Chieko are meeting in an office.
So how did they feel?
Not the oldest one, so they have experienced the newest ones.
Oh, they didn't touch this
No,
one?
not the
I
oldest.
see.
Dr. Asakawa's career path is the most interesting and motivative thing for me.
Yeah, so actually, when you see it, it's easy to understand, right? Because this is an entrance and, this is a geocosmos. And actually, geocosmos is very easy to understand because, structure is very characterized. And this is the overbridge, right?
Yeah.
So, but, if it comes to these, it's very difficult. So that's why we really need the audio feedback.
It needs some explanations and it has a little bit learning curve. Yeah.
I really believe CU efforts will help Miraikan to be a role model for accessible and inclusive museum for the world.
Outside IBM headquarters in Tokyo, water bubbles in a large pool with sculptures. Chieko and others are having a meeting about the AI Suitcase prototype.
Okay, so Masayuki, so we decided to put CPU here and GPU here, right? So Masaki is an IBM intern. I have been working with him for 2 years. I wonder if we can expect it to be smaller.
GPUs will not be smaller, but will be stronger, right?
He has been really energetic, and I think he can be a role model among young students. We are working on mobility, which was the second difficulty I found when I lost my sight. The AI Suitcase project is a navigation robot for the visually impaired.
0.95.
You specify a destination in this application, and the robot will take you autonomously to the destination. It has first RGB sensor to detect people and avoid them, and also LiDAR sensor to analyze the building structure. It's important because it helps blind people's independence, but once we develop assistive technology, blind people come up with really novel way to use them where research never thought of.
Masaki Kiribayashi, research intern at IBM Tokyo.
Mobility challenges require collaborations among various areas, such as AI, robotics, interaction technologies, construction, and so on. So we started closely working together with Carnegie Mellon universities. We also launched AI Suitcase Consortium with Japanese companies.
Open source is a very important part of the accessibility community. A lot of us are building our systems on top of other people's systems.
Masaki types code.
The AI Suitcase development team has been working through GitHub. Sometimes it is not easy to collaborate with other entities due to intellectual property management, but an open source community allows us to collaborate under the specific license of a repository.
GitHub allows us to see the changes made to the codes, the comments to the codes, and also develop a new version using the branch functionality.
An AI Suitcase code repository is shown on GitHub.
The future, the Mirai, is decided by all of us, not only researchers, not only technicians, but everybody.
Shiyu and Chieko continue their meeting. Beginning in darkness, Chieko's face is eventually illuminated, only by pulsing blue lights from a display at Miraikan.
The telephone was invented while developing a communication tool for hearing impaired in 1800s.
The meeting at IBM continues with the AI Suitcase open.
The AI Suitcase is at the moment for the visually impaired, but eventually I envision it to be available and practical for all people.
A woman uses the AI Suitcase to navigate inside Miraikan.
Everybody needs help at some point, and creating universal access opens a more diverse society. The future of accessibility is related to all of us.
Shiyu and Chieko walk together.
The gap between non-disability and disability can be narrowed by using technology. And when young people contribute to narrow the gap, our society is going to be accessible and inclusive.
Shiyu and Chieko continue to walk together in the museum. GitHub logo. Credits roll.